sorry. I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Hi, Scarlett. Yeah, it's just a short procession because of the rain out. They have the Town Vets March, and they're marching here to the green. They're going to have a presentation for one of the vets. Just a small little thing here. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry I didn't see you message earlier. I'm just trying to watch the festivities here. Sitting on the green on my butt. Some Corvettes drive through. I'll take a walk, see where they're going. Wow. Wish I had one. Thank you, Scarlett. You enjoy your day too, honey. Oops.
Before we begin, I have a number of chairs up there. If anyone wants a chair, please come to the back of the gazebo. Get a chair, make yourself comfortable. Matt, thank you.
See the mayor up on the gazebo with Rosa DeLauro, one of our state reps, House of Representatives. Yeah. Microphone issues.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming out. We're so happy that we were able to do this outside today. Thank you for so many of you showing up here today. My name is Jack Stacy, and I'm chairman of the East Haven Veterans Council, and I'm kind of the MC of this event. So I'd like to welcome you all. Thank you for sharing this ceremony with us today. We honor all those who sacrificed their lives in service to our country. Many of you know that Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day. Its origins followed the Civil War and was a day when the graves of both Union and Confederate soldiers who had died in the conflict were decorated with flowers to honor their sacrifice. At this time, I want to thank Matt Ladano and friends for providing the music, and let's give him a hand, please. And really appreciate it. And at this time, I'd like to call up East Haven's own Charlotte DeLucia, who will sing our national anthem. Charlotte will sing again when we move over to the monuments at the end of the remarks that are going to be made today. So at this time, I'd like to bring up Pastor Mark Follett from the Old Stone Church for an invocation.
Please join me in prayer. On this Memorial Day, we come before the Creator of mankind to remember those who bravely served our great country, and as a result of their service were called home by our Lord. Father, we ask for your blessing upon the souls of all those good men and women who gave their last breath in defense of our nation, our freedom, and our children's future. We also ask you to bless everyone gathered here today and to give us the strength to rise to the challenges of our time and meet them in full faith that you will always be with us. May we glorify you in all that we do, Lord, today and every day. Amen.
At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Honorable Joseph Carfora, Mayor of East Haven.
Thank you. Lieutenant Governor Susan Bysiewicz, Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro. Today, all around our great country, people are gathering at ceremonies such as this one to honor the memory of the men and women who lost their lives in the name of freedom and the service for their country. As this year's theme implores us, may we never forget, freedom is not free, because that price is high. It's been bought and paid for with the blood and courage of hundreds of thousands of Americans. So that you and I can enjoy the bounty of their sacrifice. And that is our precious freedom. So thank you all for joining us this morning. It's so important that we never forget. I also want to thank Jack Stacy and the vets from Post 89 and all the vets in town for organizing this ceremony. And I would also like to congratulate our 2021 honorary veteran, Wendy Belmore. Wendy is very noticeable and instrumental in numerous towns' activities and commissions. She's also a personal friend of mine, so congratulations. So as I conclude, I want to quote, our flag does not fly because the wind moves it. It flies with the last breath of each soldier who died protecting it. Thank you, and God bless our veterans.
As you heard the mayor announce that our honored veteran is Wendy Belmore. This is the very first time that we're honoring a woman as our honored veteran of the year. And with that, I just think how the strong by introducing a friend to East Haven. You all know Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro.
Jack, and what an honor it is to be with all of you today. So gathered so strong in great numbers, real troopers out here today. I want to say a thank you to Mayor Carpora, who serves this town of East Haven so honorably. And I join him in thanking all of those who have worked so hard to bring this procession and this ceremony to the town green. Let me also recognize Major Wendy Belmore, assigned to the U.S. Army Medical Department, Army Nurse Corps. Major Belmore served nearly 2 decades in the United States Army. She now serves as a nurse practitioner at the West Haven VA. Yes. The daughter of an Army veteran, and it's a privilege to say thank you to you, Major Belmore, for joining us today. But so thank you so much for your service to our country. It is veterans like Wendy who selfishly sacrifice to protect our way of life, set an example, and inspire us all. And each year on Memorial Day, we pause. We pause to remember those who lost their lives serving the United States in our army. Our ceremonies and our traditions take a different form again this year as we recover from the pandemic and begin to reopen. But nonetheless, we honor the lives taken from us and the loved ones they left behind. And again, our service members have answered the call to defend our freedom and our nation in Iraq and Afghanistan, Vietnam, Korea, Lexington and the War of Independence, and through 2 world wars. And it is because of their courage and bravery, that willingness to fight and even die, that our republic is standing strong. Good fortune to be able to travel to Normandy, to see the row on row of crosses and graves. So many lives, American lives lost there, young men and women as well. And it is so, it really is a moment. Look up the hills of the cliffs, and you see how our young men who scaled those cliffs with a bunker at the top shooting down at them, and you have some sense of the courage and the valor of those men and women who have served, all of us. And in Vietnam, and read about and witnessed and looked at what the brutality of that battle and that war was all about. Again, courage and valor. And in Afghanistan, where I've had the opportunity to visit on 3 occasions, to see the young men and women fighting there and the terrain, the rough they are on. And you say to yourself, you can't thank them enough because of those who fight and those who have died, we stand here today and can honor their memory. And during this deeply moving and by those who made that ultimate sacrifice, what Lincoln called the last full measure of devotion. And just as their service never wavered, our support of them and their families must stay just as resolute and unwavering. And today, as we remember, as we share, as we mourn, let us stand together, united in an obligation to fill the silence of those who lost, not just with words, but with our actions. And that means listening to the stories of our Gold Star families. And as one former president put it, and I quote, hear from those who loved them about what their smile looked like, what their laugh sounded like, and the dreams they had for their lives. That is our responsibility. That is what we owe. After all, these are the sentiments that have guided our nation through the hardest times and helped America carry on even with the heaviest of hearts. It has been said that a nation that forgets its defenders will itself be forgotten. So, for those who we have asked everything of, who embody the best of America, let us repay them with the only thing they ask of us, and that is that we remember them. And today and every day, let us take up their cause to our country, our democracy, to freedom and opportunity, and to each other. That was their mission, and now more than ever, we must make that mission our own. Thank you, and God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Rosa. Just make mention of this next speaker had at one point for the position of governor.
Scarlett, that's awesome.
And I was asked by her and her staff to do a promotional video, an advertisement, and in filming that, I still remember what I talked about, and that was the fact that Susan Bysiewicz has always been there for veterans, from her time as Secretary of State and in between becoming our Lieutenant Governor. Whenever I had a question, a problem that needed to be answered in regards to Veterans Affairs, it was Susan Bysiewicz that I would call, and she would answer right away, no hesitation. So I introduce Lieutenant Governor of the State of Connecticut, Ms. Susan Bysiewicz.
Jack, thank you so much for all that you do. And Mayor Carfora, thank you so much for your leadership. And Major Wendy Belmore, congratulations. We gather today as America. Freedom comes at a great and terrible cost. We are a free nation not because we willed it so, but because for many centuries, brave men and women stepped forward and gave their lives on the battlefield for the very precious freedoms that we enjoy. The right to choose our leaders, the right to speak as we choose, the right to assemble, the right to worship. And so today we think about all of those who have given their lives, the stories that we know and some that we don't. And I want to just take one moment to share a story of the 4 chaplains. This happened on February 2nd, 1943. The battleship and U.S. transport ship Dorchester was torpedoed by a German U-boat. There were over 900 people on board, and there were 4 chaplains. Lieutenant George Fox, Lieutenant Alexander Good, Lieutenant John Washington, Lieutenant Clark Poling. They all were of different faiths. And when the torpedo struck, hundreds were killed, many were injured, and many were in the water, the icy water, North Atlantic. And the 4 chaplains gave up their life jackets, were ministering in the water to many, and at the end of that terrible night, 692 of the 902 were killed, but 210 were saved because of the 4 chaplains' efforts. All of them, all 4, were killed. They gave their lives for others. And so we think about those heroes and all of the others who have gone before for our freedom. We say thank you to them. And we remember the thousands of people who gave their lives, including 4,347 from Connecticut who gave their lives in World War II. And I think I see a gentleman who is a World War II veteran with us today. Give him a round of applause, please. And if we have any Korean veterans, could they raise their hands? They're very shy. Thank you, sir, for your service. And proud Vietnam veterans, gentlemen, if you could raise your hands so that we could say thank you. We lost 239 people in the Korean War from our state and 344, including several from East Haven and Vietnam. You know, we've just been through another war, a war against a global pandemic. And so we're reminded this year more than others and the many people who put their lives on the line so that we all could be safe. Our National Guards, our nurses, our doctors, our healthcare workers, our firefighters, our police officers. We thank all of those who helped this terrible pandemic. And we also remember our military families who right now may have a loved one serving our great country. We thank all of our veterans for their incredible service, and I know East Haven is a place that honors and respects its veterans. So let me just say in conclusion, thank you so much. It is a great honor for Governor Lamont to present you every day in Hartford. God bless each of you, our great state of Connecticut, and our thank you so much.
I'd like at this time to call up the Honorable Paul Ciccarella, who's our state senator, raised and educated here in East Haven. Paul?
Thank you, and it's an honor to be here today. I want to start by acknowledging all the hard work of the volunteers to put something like this together. I'm sure it's not easy to organize everything, especially with today's circumstances, but it's so important that time
Take care,
gets put
Scarlett.
in
Thanks for coming by.
so these events could move forward, so we could honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice so we could enjoy the freedoms that we do every day. It's my honor up at the Capitol to be a ranking member on Veterans Affairs and advocate every day for the veterans and all the work and sacrifice that they've put in, again, so we could really enjoy the freedoms that I take the opportunity, we all should, to talk to our children about what those sacrifices look like. Not only for the brave men and women that go off to fight, but their family members that are home and worried about them. It's so important that we do this, but we do this one day. And every day we should think and reflect about all of those sacrifices that are made, and I make sure I take the opportunity to talk to my children. And I just think it's amazing that we have so many people out here to show their support for those brave men and women. In conclusion, I just want to again thank everybody for coming out, and it's my honor to be here. Thank you.
Our next speaker needs no introduction. Another successful East Haven resident, our state representative, Joe Zullo.
Jack, it's a pleasure to be here today, and as Jack said, I'm Joe Zullo. I'm the state representative for the 99th district, which includes most of East Haven. First off, I would like to thank Mayor Carfora for continuing this important and somber tradition. You know, not everybody knows, but there was a time when this was a little bit more of pomp and circumstance like other towns. And under the administration, it was changed to more of a somber event, and that tradition has continued on. And I'm very thankful for that, and that's very important, Mayor Carfora, so thank you for that. One of the challenges of speaking last is that everybody robs everything you're going to note this, that, you know, Senator Ciccarella said it best, that we spend today remembering our veterans and those who paid the ultimate price. But really, we should be doing that every day. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at somebody and said, oh geez, I owe you $1 million, or gee, you're a lifesaver. You know, you say that so casually when somebody does you a favor. But think about the people who really are lifesavers, the people who you didn't, but wouldn't matter if you gave them $5 million, you could never repay the freedom and the gift that they've given you. And that's those that. So the next time you say that to somebody, gee, you're a lifesaver, or gee, I owe you $1 million, think about that. It really puts it in perspective. And then as Senator Ciccarella was mentioning, we have to do this every day. But we don't have to do it simply by just speaking to our children about what this day means and what our armed forces mean to us and all of our public safety personnel. It means that we have to be better citizens. We have to tone down government, because that's how we truly honor those that paid the ultimate sacrifice. We perpetuate this great freedom that we all enjoy by getting involved, by being more tolerant, by loving each other. So thank you once again, Mayor Carfora, for continuing this tradition. Thank you to all the veterans out there, and thank you for the opportunity to participate today. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is the Post 89 American Legion Commander and one of the original members of VVA 484, of which he is an active member today, VVA being Vietnam Veterans of America, Mr. Ralph Butch Menake.
We're here to celebrate Memorial Day, to honor our men and women of all the wars that stood up and answered the call when America called to say freedom isn't free. We honor you today, and they paid the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you.
I'd like to take a moment at this time to acknowledge some of the dignitaries that are here up on the gazebo with me. And when I call your name, just kind of give a wave so people know who you are, although they probably already do. And so we'll start with one of the highest elected officials in town, our town clerk, Ms. Stacy Gravino. From the town council, Joe Decco, Josh Bolter, Robert Ranfone, and in keeping with our woman's theme, Samantha Parlato, and Mr. Joe Santino. From the Board of Finance, Noreen Clough and Al Frizicki. I'd also like to mention and thank East Haven Fire Chief Maccarelli, Police Chief Lennon, and their assistant chiefs. And at this time, it's really my honor to you.
Thank you, everyone, so much. And I want to thank our veterans for your service and for the legacy of that service. My dad and uncle both served in the Army Air Corps in World War II. My dad was the 5th Air Force Flying Tigers in the South Pacific. In the U.S. Navy Pacific Fleet during the First Gulf War. And many of us standing here today know the pride of putting on our uniform, of standing at attention with the deepest respect and honor that is the history of our country and the branch of our service. My branch is the United States Army, Army Strong. I received a direct commission to the AMED fighting under the umbrella of Army Medicine. The Army Nurse Corps is its own special branch, established in 1901 by the United States Congress. In today's world, nurses are both women and men. However, in the earliest historic records of battles throughout the world, we hear stories of women, wives, mothers, sisters, going out on the battlefield to give succor to the dying, to bandage and aid the wounded, and to give comfort to those afflicted by stress and anxiety. Florence Nightingale, a wealthy social reformer, translated this work into a profession by establishing a school in 1860 to train candidates in the skills we know today as the nursing profession. In today's military medicine, many servicemen and women like myself, citizen soldiers, professionals with academic affiliations in university hospital settings and federal institutions, working as civilians while maintaining readiness and in constant training to serve when called. Innovative, evidence-based care that preserves life and function, promotes health and wellness for any person entrusted to our care. Ask a military member to share a story of their experience. The one way we share and preserve our legacy and their legacy. I've had the opportunity to train, study, and learn with the best, and when I was able, I became that trainer. The military recognized the need for all medical units to be prepared in the battlefield management appointed to of the 801 in the critical care training arm, an officer in charge of the training division located at the West Haven VA Medical Center. What an honor to be able to work with nurses and ready them for the most complex and difficult in my encounter. I further had the occasion to work with USAMRIID, mostly in the news recently, the U.S. Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases, as we train to deter and defend against NBC, that's nuclear, biological agent attacks. I was tasked from Fort Dix, New Jersey, the opportunity to run a station there. On the small return flight, I sat next to, can you imagine, the command sergeant major of the Army? Who knew? We spoke about the work being done with our newest recruits to establish and conduct operations to safely contain and decontaminate following exposure. Of course, I was nervy enough to ask that if he was able, he might stop and observe our soldiers at work at Fort Dix. Well, speaking for the military folks here, wherever Well, true to his word, we had a visit from both of them, with command coins being awarded to each soldier in our unit. What a thrill for a young soldier to be recognized, a story of experience that they will get to share. My unit was the 405th Combat Support Hospital. We were often tasked to humanitarian missions, most notably in Central and South America. We built schools and roads, dug wells with the Army Corps of Engineers, conducted medical readiness by providing health and wellness clinics to the indigenous population. We served on Native American reservations, taking over hospital duties to allow the public health service to take respite. We vaccinated children, visited families in remote health care, and tested the safety of wells. We served locally at Veterans Stand Down at Rocky Hill and many more duties. I was accepted to command in General Staff School, Army Services Staff. 12, I was the only woman and the only officer in the medical services. My fellow classmates competed for command of a variety of wartime scenarios until we were assigned a humanitarian mission. Guess who got that humanitarian understanding of the knowledge and skills each soldier brings to the table. And yes, we were all that we could be as soldiers. My team of 3 nurses took first place in the orienteering competition at Sir Basic School. Just say nice job. I've flown in helicopter over the jungles of Central America and rappelled from towers. However, I was glad an email or a post letting me know how the many soldiers I've come to know, and I'm humbled when I'm reminded that their help them in their preparedness for the next step towards citizenship or service on the battlefield. Either way, we share our legacy, continue our work. Do we retire? For myself, that work goes on. When I travel to Africa and stand shoulder to shoulder service with our local Lions Club and veterans organizations. The Lions Club, American Legion, and Vietnam veterans invite you laying of wreaths at our and teach the legacy of veterans later. This year, with your help, East Lawn and Green Lawn cemeteries in East Haven will join with Arlington National Cemetery and over 2,200 cemeteries lay memorialize those who died to ensure democracy our way of life. Their pride of uniform, their branch honor, their willingness to make that decision to serve, to find the camaraderie of working as a team in support of our mutually defined mission. And we honor their legacy for them by being their surrogates, their voice, and their hands in continued service to our communities, our region, and the world. Join me and the many members of the East Haven community in that legacy of giving service to our friends, our neighbors, and the strangers. And thank you for this recognition. To serve as honored veteran in 2021, I'm humbled.
I will be remiss in recognizing the chairperson of the East Haven Board of Education, Michelle DeLucia. At this time, I'd like to call upon Matt Ladano, Catherine Trainer and Eric Gerhardt to provide us with another patriotic song. Thank you. For those of you that would like to remain, we are now going to move ourselves over to the main monument, where honors will be rendered and wreaths will be placed on the monuments. I want to thank everybody. Some more talking and some more singing and some more honoring of war dead at the monuments. Those of you that have a chair, bring it with you over there. That's fine. And we'll wrap up at the war monuments. Thank you.
Thank you.